Hi, this is Thomas Steed here. I'm just giving a quick review of my Frank's boots that I ordered custom. It was built off of the standard T1 Commander in the 8.5E. I got the Lineman patch, Lineman shank, toe cap, all rough out, walnut for the lowers and uppers, the backstay, heel cap, all that in black. I would definitely say if you have the opportunity to go by the store up there in Washington and take a look at the products that they have there and make your selection based off of those, I would definitely advise that. It gives you a little bit more of a clear, concise concept of what those styles are going to look like in the end results. I'm extremely happy with what I chose. Regardless, I don't have anything that I would change about this boot. Just saying, if you live close enough to be able to travel there and work with them in person, especially if you're going to be doing a custom build as extensive as something like this that exceeds what is typically on their standard order sheet, you're going to want to speak with them directly. They're pretty willing to, work with you, but if there's something they're not willing to do, they're going to let you know. I got the brown stitching on there. I believe that would contrast on the black nicely. I kind of thought about maybe doing the black on contrast with the brown. I don't know if I would have done that or if I would have honestly liked it. They're pretty flashy currently as is. I will say the heel stacks, this leather, when I first got it, came pretty orange. It was a lot oranger than I was expecting, but that has started to work out and lighten up. But I absolutely love them. It's not something that I'd say I don't like by any means. I think it definitely stands out, and it matches pretty well now that it's starting to take its fade. You can see along the outer side where I've been working on some ladders, it's starting to take a little bit of patina from the aluminum, as well as on the bottoms. I also want to point out on my right foot I have the heel set center, and that is an option that they have if you walk like a mongoloid and you step on the inside of your heel. This will help so that you land more properly in your gait. It will help as long as you're consciously trying to help. It'll help with the breakdown on there. I got the zip up option on it. They are the 10-inch, and I kind of have my laces done a little bit funky so that I can just still kind of lace up through the sides. As I've standardly, it goes up, down, and you'll have where I've got these sections where it's looped back and braided up over. Normally there's no lace there, and they start getting a little bit of a different creasing at there that I didn't particularly like, so I figured how to keep that a little bit tighter, as well as give me the option of coming through and actually lacing if I want without removing the zipper. Little uncomfortable, but that's just because I tie my boots really tight. You don't have to do that. Aside from that, I will say this is by far the most built and best boot that I own, and it has helped me immensely with the way that I'm walking so far. They're breaking in fantastic. Say I'm about a month in, and my toes aren't really setting in quite yet. The ball of my foot is. Heel set, the outside of my foot, outer arch. I'm not quite sure exactly what to call that, but the other side from the arch has set in very nice. I've got quite a bit of time now, I'd say around 20, 30 hours on the ladder. They're still pretty solid. I don't think that Lineman shank's gonna fully break in for, I don't know, probably another 30 to 40 hours. but that's perfectly fine. I got those because if you don't get the Lineman shank on there, then it's kind of rounded, at least with most companies, and the Lineman shank makes it so that that is a flat bottom. It helps with if you're kicking shovels, spending time on ladders and stuff like that, because if you don't and that's round down there, then your boot likes to wobble if you're climbing up a ladder. So if you spend enough extensive time on ladders, it's justifiable to do it. If you don't, and you pretty much stay on the ground 90% of the time and you don't weigh over 200 pounds, it's not as reasonable to opt for the Lineman shank, because it does take so much longer to break the boots in, just because you don't weigh as much and you're not putting direct pressure on that shank to allow it to set in. Aside from that, most of the upgrade options average around $35 per option at the time of this video. I'm not going to quote the exact price that I got these at. It may be slightly different. Now, if you choose to go to a fit specialist, such as up in Idaho Falls, Footwear Outfitters is where I went, and I worked with Nick. He's the one who did the measurement on my feet. Sometimes those people will charge a little bit extra for your custom sizing, depending on how much detail and stuff goes into that. And so that's something that you're going to have to work out with whoever your local fitting specialist, cobbler, or whoever it is that you're working with to order, if you're not working directly with Franks to place your order. I'd say out of all of the companies that I've looked at, I'd looked at the Whites, the Nicks, Viberg, and Franks, and JK's. I chose Franks, and I'll tell you the reason being is they were willing to do the custom build the way that I had envisioned it, when the others weren't. At that time I hadn't looked at Wesco, but even if they were to give this option in builds, it would have been unreasonably more expensive, and it would have been up there in the range of buying a pair of Vibergs, and I'm just not interested in that. I didn't get the safety toe. I did get the elastic toe, so the toe box will remain in shape a little bit better than the soft toe, but it's not going to take heavy impacts. What I'm currently doing with work, I'm not too concerned with that. I have a relatively wide foot, and even in this size, without that, I do slightly rub. If I would have gotten some type of a composite toe or steel toe, most of the time they advise that you size up. Now, whether or not it would be a size up in width or an actual shoe size up, that's something that you need to discuss with your fit specialist or with Franks directly, because I'm not here to tell you what your foot looks like and what you need to do to match your foot properly. That's something that you need to work out with the individuals that you're working with. Like I said, extremely happy. The build is in the 8.5E, and on the 86 last. You can see the emblem there. Kind of wish that would have been imprinted a little bit darker, because unless you rub that grain just right, you can't really see the Franks. But I'm perfectly fine with that. That's what it is. I'm extremely happy with these boots, and when they say that they are a beast to break in, they are. But if you listen and you do it right, then it's not going to be as painful. When I started breaking in, normally they advise 15 to 30 minutes, take them off, lace them back up, a little bit of time, and then increase in 15 to 30 minute increments depending on what's comfortable to your foot. I jumped at it running a little bit more. I put them on when I picked them up, and I had over an hour drive back home, so the first hour I just had them on in the car, getting used to my feet a little bit. By the time I got home, then I did the laces and just kind of wore them around the house real easy, nothing extensive. For the rest of that evening, took them off, felt fine. Only tight spots I'd say I felt is, you know, your typical spots in the outside of the toes, you know, on the edges, the toe box, and the on the van. And whether or not the zipper increased any kind of discomfort in the vamp, I mean, it's possible, but I've got the kiltie underneath just to kind of help with that anyways, and I haven't worn them without the zipper in, so I don't know, haven't done it. And I probably tighten them up so ridiculously tight that it wouldn't matter anyways, because they'd probably still be tight. So regardless, that I'd have to say overall with this is, if you're looking at stepping up from, you know, your run-of-the-mill, you know, boots and, you know, the Timberland Pro line, or even, you know, at that you know, Red Wing level, still very, very good boots, worth the money. But Frakes is on a whole nother level. This doesn't even hold a candle to this. This is, I'm gonna throw this on, look decent, go to the store, maybe do, you know, some sells or something like that, light duty. This, I'm ready to get at it and dig holes, fix stuff, go out in the woods. Just really, I can do just about anything that I need to do in these, except for, I guess, a job that I required to have a, you know, safety toe, because I didn't opt for that. But aside from that, best boots that I've ever bought. Don't regret it in the slightest. Plan to order again in the future. It's going to be a little bit. They are spendy. They start, you know, the ground pounder, I believe, is around $4.90. The average boot from them starts in the 500 range and ends right around the 600 range. And then, you know, you've got your customs options. They've got the website right here, franksboots.com. Go on there for all current pricings, options, and all of that they have on there. Phone number also listed right here on the box for you. And I will say, at this point in time, they don't have the Lineman boot up there as an option, but they did say that would be coming on later. And yeah, so if you're looking for the Lineman shanks and patches and stuff like that on the inside and outside, that is something that if you go on their website currently, that's not there, so you will want to get directly in touch with them on that. But to save us from rambling too much further on, I hope you enjoyed the review, and you like boots as much as I do. I'm perfectly happy with them, and I'll probably be doing another review on them in a little while after I oil them up and hit about my 3-month mark. Probably 6 month, figure 3 months, 6 month, 9 month, year. So see you in 3 months with these ones.